Canafes today. After the wastelands, it was a view to take the breath away. Golden stone raised higher than the walls of Collegium or of any ant city-state, and with statues piled on that. Architecturally bewildering, but given the people that live here, I suppose it's not surprising. Huge buildings and broad avenues, every major building constructed vastly out of scale. For a man of my stature, it was daunting. Even for the locals, it must make them feel like midgets. Beyond the walls, the strip of green that is the river's attendant foliage runs north, a single channel of life in the desert. Everyone apparently pleased to see us, especially pleased to see Petri. Much polite interest in Collegium, but a little standoffish, as though news of a city inhabited by their close kin was something they heard every other day. Evening of the first day, and we seemed to have been absorbed, found a place, and now genteelly ignored, as if the life of Canafes moves around us like a sedate and well-oiled machine. Cadro reread it with a shake of his head. How little I knew then. Crouching high above the plaza, with its great hollowed pyramid, he watched the torches of a patrol pass indolently by. He had not been noticed, either in absence or by presence. His heart was hammering. This sneaking around was not his trade. The deftness of the Flykinden, his birthright, had mouldered for a good long while before being given an airing now. He was lucky his wings still worked. How they would scoff at me back home. Collegium born and bred, and living amongst the cumbrous, grounded Beetlekinden all his life, he had almost forgotten that he was more than a pedestrian himself. Now, he told himself. But still he did not go, locking into place instead, clutching flat against the stone like a badly rendered piece of sculpture. They were mad keen on their carvings here in Canafes. It was obviously the main outlet for all their stunted creativity, he decided. They could never leave a stone surface blank when they could chisel intricate little stories and histories into it. Histories that revealed nothing. Stories that hinted at everything. This whole city was just a maddening riddle created specifically to drive an aging Flykinden academic insane. And here was the culmination of his insanity. It was totally dark now. There was a patchy spread of cloud above, too, which had recommended tonight to him, a rare occurrence out here on the fringes of this nameless desert. Nameless in the eyes of Collegium, anyway. In a lifetime of poring over the oldest of maps, Cadro had seldom come across the city of Canafes. The name existed only in those ancient, unintelligible scrawls that the Mothkinden left behind after the revolution had forced them out. The maps of Beetle merchant venturers barely admitted to its existence, barely gave it credence or fixed location, as though some conspiracy of cartographers existed to deny that a city called Canafes had ever taken physical shape. East, somewhere east, the stories ran. A city founded by the Beetlekinden, and whose name, to those few academics who cared, was inseparable from legend and inapt fancy. And here he was, looking over this city, this great river Jemail, with its acres of marshy delta and the desert that the locals called the Nem, all nothing but names to the academics of Collegium. Until now. It was the war, he knew, that had opened up so much more of the wider world to the lowlands. Suddenly there had been a lot of new faces seen in the city, in the college even. Imperial diplomats and their slaves of many kinden, Solanese Flykinden, or the sandy-skinned near-beetles they bred there, Spiderland's Aristoi, and even the occasional brooding commonwealer. The world was bigger than it had ever been, and yet Cadro had found new territory still. The ever-talking Solanese had eventually got round to comparing maps, and there, lying at the edge of their world,